The CR-V has been something of a success for Honda, with the company claiming it was the world's best-selling SUV in the first 9 months of last year. To keep things relevant, Honda has given the CR-V a facelift for 2015 and made a few changes to the oily bits. The bulk of the exterior changes are at the front, where there's a restyled grille and bumper, complete with a fake skid plate and new fog lights, plus restyled headlights that incorporate new LED running lights. From the rear, things are much the same as before, although the rear lights have been altered slightly and there's a couple of new styles of alloy wheel. The basic structure of the interior is as before, and that's a good thing because the CR-V's cabin has always been a comfortable place to spend time. Changes are limited to a few minor trim details, although the big change for this year is the arrival of the new Honda Connect system. Based on an Android platform, the system aims to offer a familiar touchscreen interface that uses swiping and pinching gestures, and depending on model you get web access and internet music streaming, plus Bluetooth and DAB digital radio and a Garmin app-based navigation system. While it all works efficiently enough, it does feel a little disjointed. The design of the interface isn't consistent, with the main menus having a different look and feel to, say, the navigation app, and while negotiating some of the settings pages, it's not unusual to find yourself dumped out at a generic Android screen. These days, most other systems are more unified, so while most competitors have navigation instructions piped into the instrument cluster, for instance, that option isn't available in the CR-V, and while we've always liked the dash-top display, it now feels a little less relevant. Rear seat passengers are just as spoilt as before, there's plenty of space in all directions, and footroom is particularly good thanks to the almost completely flat floor. Plus, of course, there's the always fabulous one-motion folding seats that do their thing at the pull of a lever mounted in the boot. Practicality has always been a CR-V strong point, and that continues with this new model, thanks to 589 litres of space with the seats upright, increasing to 1,669 litres with the seats folded, and Honda's habit of thinking of everything means there's loads of useful hooks and tie-down points. Under the bonnet, there's the option of a new 1.6 litre diesel engine with 160 PS and 350 Nm of torque, replacing the previous 2.2 litre unit. Unlike the 120 PS version, it's available with four-wheel drive, and it offers CO2 emissions from 129 grams per kilometre, an economy of up to 57 mpg, although during our testing our average was around 45. Also new for this year is a 9-speed automatic transmission, and we'll talk about what it's like on the road in a minute, but for now we'll point out that the shift mechanism is a little weird, with the lever always returning to a home position. There's also a pair of paddles mounted behind the steering wheel, and these give manual control when in sport mode and a momentary override when in drive. Off the line, it changes up through the ratios pretty quickly, and once up to speed, everything settles down into a quiet cruise, and for the most part the new gearbox always goes about its business smoothly and calmly. There are a couple of issues with it though. Firstly, if you use the paddles to downshift to gain engine braking for a hill descent, the gearbox will quickly drop down 2 gears without any problem. However, if you ask it to drop down 3 gears, and you might because it's got 9 of them to choose from, remember, it seems to get confused and disengage drive altogether for 3 or 4 seconds while it sorts itself out. But this of course leaves you coasting down the hill and picking up speed towards the car in front, unless you're ready with the brakes. The second issue is in stop-start traffic. Sometimes the transmission would change into a higher gear when you lifted your foot off the accelerator, and because of the engine's huge torque, this can actually have the effect of propelling you faster towards the car in front when you were actually expecting the CR-V to slow down. We also noticed a few instances when things got a little bit shunty coming off the gas, as if the torque converter wasn't disengaging quickly enough. And on more than one occasion, when the stop-start system had restarted the engine, the transmission engaged first gear a touch too abruptly, leading to an uncomfortable jolt forward when pulling away. But these are likely to be teething troubles, and we reported them to Honda so that hopefully they can be easily addressed via a software update. Honda have made a number of changes to the CR-V's chassis, some of them quite substantial. It now rides on a wider track, has new bushes and dampers, and uses a revised geometry setup, and the result is a noticeable improvement in ride quality, a greater feeling of stability, and thanks to a slightly quicker steering ratio, it's also a touch more responsive. Honda have also increased the thickness of the door seals, increased the use of sound damping materials, and subtly revised a number of other details that all add up to a quieter cabin. And after spending almost an entire day trudging up and down our motorway network, I can tell you that there are a few more comfortable places to sit than this, especially if you have a family and a boot full of luggage to take with you. Prices for the new CR-V start at £22,345 for a two-wheel drive petrol model, with the four-wheel drive 1.6 litre diesel starting at £27,570. So, despite a couple of minor issues that we're sure Honda will address, the CR-V continues to represent one of the most compelling options for family transport on the market today.